وقل رب زدني علما.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. So inshallah, today we're moving on to rules regarding تأخير الفاعل. We'll be discussing rules regarding تأخير الفاعل. So what he's saying here, we all know this from before. Very simple order. Remember that in the beginning? A very simple order. What's that? Verb, then verb, subject, object. That's the general basic outline of a jumla fa'liya. You have the verb, then you have the subject, then you have the object. Fa'il, fa'il, maf'ul bihi. That's the basic. Now, what he's saying here, what we're mentioning here is, there are certain scenarios where we can change this order. You can change this order. Okay? So he says here, وَقَدْ يَتَأَخَّرُ جَوَازًا, meaning just for other purposes, whether to do with meaning purposes, whether for poetry, making it sound better. For all of these things, we can change the sentence order around. And for example, if I want to say, I can say Sami'a. And we've done a bit of this in our Nahwa as well for emphasis. Sami'a al-Qur'ana Zaydun. We can do that if you want to. And those are things we discuss in Balagha. From a Nahwa perspective, it's permissible because why? This is marfu' and this is mansub, opposite way around. Yes? So if you wanted to, for example, there's a reason when it comes to the Quran, it's not just for the sake of it, but we're not going into that right now, to do with Balagha. وَلَقَدْ جَاءَ آلَ فِرْعَوْنَ النُّذُورُ. What's the fa'il in here? النُّذُورُ. النُّذُورُ is a fa'il. And then آلَ فِرْعَوْن, والمضاف إليه, آلَ كم مفعول به. So مفعول به has come first, and the fa'il is مؤخر. Yes, it's been brought forward, it's متأخر. Why is it متأخر? How is it? متأخر جوازا. And he's given a part of a poem. He says here, وَكَمَا أَتَى رَبَّهُ مُوسَى عَلَى قَدْرٍ. So we're not going to go to the poem much, but it's just basically saying here, أَتَى is a fa'il, رَبَّهُ is what? مَفْعُولٌ بِهِ, and Musa is what? The fa'il. Yes? So now the maf'ul bihi comes before the fa'il, and this is permissible. No big issue in this. You can do this. This is allowed. Everybody following? Okay? Yes? So وَقَدْ يَتَأَخَّرُ جَوَازًا. Sometimes the fa'il can be delayed permissibly. That's a word, permissibly. But in a permissible, it's not wuju. You don't have to do it. You can if you want to. In the Quran, where it comes, there's a reason for that, and that's to do with balagha. We'll discuss it later on. Okay? And then it says, وَوُجُوبًا ji. وَأَنْ يَلِيَ, to come after, to follow. To follow, come after. Okay? Yes? Yes? Okay. Now, what we have here is there's two examples where we have to bring the fa'il afterwards. The first example, I'll do that first. So we can do this one here. Darabani Zaydun. What's the fa'il in here? Daraba. You know that for sure. Daraba is a fa'il. What's the fa'il? Zaydun. What's the maf'ulun bihi? Ni. It's a maf'ulun bihi. If we were to say, for example, Daraba Zaydun Iyaya. We could say that, couldn't we? But what's the rule we done before in Zama'ir? La fasla ma imkan al-wasli. As long as it's possible to bring zamir muttasil, you must bring zamir muttasil. Zamir munfasil is only when you can't bring muttasil. So if you say daraba Zaydun iyaya, we bring zamir munfasil when muttasil is possible, and that's not allowed. Understood? Yes? Okay? Yes? Yeah? Everybody following me? Okay? Now, وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ. We need to understand one concept in here. Okay? Can you bring a can I say, for example, he came and Zaid sat. Can I say this? You can't say Zaid is referring to he, but bring Zaid afterwards and bring he first, can I? Would that make sense? I would have to say what? Zaid came and he sat. So obviously you have to bring the antecedent, meaning the thing what the dhamir is referring to, bring that first, then the dhamir. So if you do this, if you bring the dhamir first, that's called izmar. So bringing a dhamir. So what's happening here? So you can't bring a dhamir. So izmarun, bringing a dhamir before mentioning it. Is that permissible? You can't. I can't say ra'aytuhu. I can't say, for example, ja'a wa akramtu Zaidan. I can't say this and say, well, here the dhamir mustatir huwa is referring to Zaid. You can't do that. That's izmar qabla dhikr. Do you understand? Are you following? You could say all different things, but you can't say, is this sentence correct? This sentence here. Because why? You have izmarun qabla dhikri. You're bringing a dhamir before actually mentioning the word. Okay? Yes? Is that clear? Okay. Now, what happens now? Where does the dhamir come in the first example number 1? Where does it come? Where's the dhamir? In the huwa. And Zaid is the what? Marji', the dhikr. So in the word, the actual word, the word order, this is the word order, this is the love, the word order. Yes? In the word order. Okay? So the word order, huwa comes first, then what comes afterwards? Zaid. But along with word order, lafzan, there's something called rutbatan. What does rutbatan mean? Let me give you an example. I'm going to have a race with Usain Bolt. Okay? Yes, you following? Okay? So now, the race starts. Yes? And there he goes. And pause. Who's in the lead? Green or orange? Huh? Orange in the lead. Who's in the lead? Let's go again. Who's in the lead? Who's in the? So, who's in? So we say in the actual lead. Who? Okay, in front. Who's in front? Orange is in front. Yes, can you read that? We say here, the orange is in front. Yes, on track. But green is what? He's leading. He's leading the race in. So if we take a screenshot right now, I'm beating Usain Bolt because I'm orange and I'm beating. He's coming all the way around. I'm still punting, trying to get my 100 meters done. Yes, he's in 400 meters and he's already almost coming around again. And I'm in the lead, aren't I? Well, no, I'm not in the lead. I am in front. You following? So you can have an order, which a apparent order and a real order. What can you have? An apparent order, what you can see. Apparent order, or you can have what? A real order. The actual order. So based on this, we can call this what? This order is called what? Love. So in the wording, what we can actually see on the chart. I just take a picture, a screenshot, that's it, I'm in the lead. What we can see on paper, the wording, this is called what? So in loves, am I ahead or am I behind? In what you can see. I'm ahead, I'm in front. But in rutbah, in actual order, actual race order, what is this? Who's in front? Green is in front. So what does loves mean? What does tartib, the loves order mean? How do you describe loves order, the order in loves? What is apparent, what you can see on paper, what you can see on track? And what about rutbah order? What does that mean? The actual order. You following? So now you got that in concept. You got that in your mind? Now, let's look at another example now. So what's the order of a jumla fi'liya? Fa'il, fa'ilan. What's the order? Fa'il, fa'ilan. Everybody fall asleep. Fa'il, fa'il, maf'ul bihi. So now, in this sentence, who's going to come first? وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ. Who comes first? No, but first is fa'il, yes? He comes first position. What's the next slot belong to originally? Where's the fa'il in here? So in rutbah, not actual order, not love's order, but in rutbah, whose position comes next? Whose second position? Fa'il maf'ul bihi. So whose second position? His second position. Whose third position in terms of the actual order of the sentence? The maf'ul bihi. Because the order and the position of so even though on track, Rabbuhu comes afterwards, but in actual order, the fa'il, the order of the running of the sentence order, what comes first? The fa'il, then the maf'ul bihi. Yes? Therefore, if we look at the sentence in another way, it's really what? So, now the problem is, not the problem, but the issue that we may come to mind initially on the first thought is what? Yeah, okay? So now what's happening here? If you have a scenario where if you were to bring the order, so if here now, this dhamir, it comes after Ibrahim, doesn't it? Yes? Is that a problem? It's not a problem, is it? Because Ibrahim comes first, then what comes after that? Dhamir. If we were to go to the original order, we revert back to the original order, we say what? Idhib wa idhib tala wa idhib tala rabbuhu Ibrahim. What's the issue going to arise here? You have, and it refers to what? Ibrahim. So you bring in a dhamir, idmar, qabla what? Qabla dhikr. Do you understand? And this is qabla dhikr in both ways. In actual running order, so not in rutbah, but in actual running order. So the who comes before Ibrahim in loves. The word who comes before Ibrahim. I don't think I explained the Isma qabla dhikr, but I don't really need that here that much. But let's keep that in mind. It can be useful in other places. Okay? So for example, let me give you another example. It's not mentioned in the book, but let's say for example, if I say this to you. If I say for example, Nasara غلامه نصر أخاه أحمد. Is this correct or not? Who's the me referring to? So it comes before Ahmad what? Is Izmar qabla dhikr? Isn't it? Is it Izmar qabla dhikr? But in actual order or on track order? Or in sentence order? In actual track or in actual what? Apparent order. Because what? Who comes first and Ahmad comes where? Second. But if we were to rearrange it, so remember, it's only impermissible if both orders are broken. If we were to rearrange it according to the original order, what would it be? Nasara, what? Ahmadu, what? Is this not correct now? The zamir comes afterwards, isn't it? So now is ma qabla dhikr, meaning in terms of what you can see. Who comes first? Ahmad comes second. But in actual order, actual race order, actual order of the sentence, Ahmad is going to be first. So even though you say nasara akhahu Ahmadu, and you see Ahmad coming after akha, but when you put the real order, what's the real order? Fa'il, fa'il, maf'ul bihi. When you put the proper rutbah, the proper order, then what happens? Is there izmar qabla dhikr in this sentence? In the second sentence, is izmar qabla dhikr? No. So that means that in this sentence, the first sentence, the izmar qabla dhikr is happening in which aspect? On the paper. On what do you call it on paper? Is izmar qabla dhikr in what? Which aspect? But is it izmar qabla dhikr in rutbah? No, because if you rearrange it according to the actual order, it doesn't make this difference. So then, this is permissible. Nasara akhahu Ahmad. So if you end up in a scenario where there's izmar qabla dhikr on paper, or if you were to change the order around and put fa'il, fa'il, maf'ul bih, and it's still izmar qabla dhikr, even in rutbah, then you say it's impermissible. Do you understand? So then in that case, you would have to do ta'khir of the dhamir, you would have to ta'khir of the fa'il. So in this case, this is why you have to bring, well, you don't have to, but why is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought the word Rabbuhu after Ibrahim? He's brought the word Rabbuhu after Ibrahim, because if you brought Rabbuhu here, you would end up with what? Izmar qabla dhikr, lafzan and rutbatan. How? If you rearrange the sentence again, so you have what? Rabbuhu Ibrahim. What's first in word or in actual? What's first in this? What's first here in Rabbuhu Ibrahim? This is first. The dhamir is first. So in loves, the dhamir comes first. And who's come first? Fa'il maf'ul bihi. Who's first in the actual order of the sentence as well? Rabbuhu Ibrahim. Pardon me? So this comes first in rutbah as well. So in both cases, you have a dhamir of coming before the actual word is referring to, in actual word and in order as well. Do you understand? So if you have izmar qabla dhikr lafzan and rutbatan, then you have to delay it. So if you bring Rabbuhu first here, the dhamir will end up coming first in word and also in order. And that would be impermissible. So therefore, Rabbuhu, the dhamir has to come after Ibrahim. So even though, so in this sentence, in word, is there izmar qabla dhikr in this sentence in terms of on track and apparent order? Yes or no? Is there izmar qabla dhikr? Is the zamir coming before the marji in actual word order? No, because who comes after Ibrahim? But is there izmar qabla dhikr in rutbah, in the actual real order? Yeah, but that doesn't matter. As long as you have one aspect, it comes afterwards. If it comes afterwards, either in rutbah or lafz is permissible. So so this Rabbuhu comes first in order, in running order, or actual order. But when you bring it afterwards, it comes later in apparent order. So once it comes later in apparent or actual, any of them is fine. If you were to bring the original order, إِذِ ابْتَلَى رَبُّهُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ, you would get إِذْمَار قَبْلَ الذِّكْرَ in wording and real order and apparent order. And that's not permissible. That's why you have to bring, that's why the Rabbuhu has been brought after Ibrahim. Do you understand? Yes? Are you following me? No, honestly, is it clear or are you confused? Yeah? So, when you have a possibility of idmar qabla dhikr, there's dhamir coming before the actual word in both aspects, in both ways. In on-track order and real race order. In what? Actual sentence order and in actual or in the original order. If it ends up being إضمار قبل ذكر in both. If you have one of them, it's permissible, that's fine. But if both, in both ways you have إضمار قبل ذكر, then what happens? Then? Yes, in both cases then, it's not permissible. You have to bring the fa'il afterwards. Okay? So this is where you have to bring the fa'il delayed. Let's stop here, inshallah. Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayka.